I keep seeing shit about the Alex Pereira fight, you know? And like a lot of people have different opinions on it, and there's really only one opinion about it in my opinion that actually makes sense and is fair. I think Alex lost the fight. I don't think he was robbed or anything like that. I just think that Ankalaev won the fight in a less than honorable way. I think he and a lot of the people from that region of the world that get into MMA, they're not so much worried about actually fighting. They're more so worried about trying to game the rule set so that they can have as easy a win as they possibly can. And I'm not saying people in the West don't do this too, right? Everybody does it to some degree in MMA, but the people who are the worst offenders and some of the first real offenders, if I'm being honest with you, are the Dagestanis. And I know that Ankalaev was not like a Habib Nurmagomedov camp guy. He was training with Kadirov's guys, right? But the point that I'm making is Alex won the first round. Ankalaev definitely won the second round, and he even wobbled Alex, which is no small feat. No small feat, right? That third round, that could have went either way, and truthfully, I wouldn't blame someone if they gave that third round to Alex, right? Now, the fourth and fifth rounds were going to be very, very important, and instead of there actually being a fight, it was a snooze fest. It was hugging against the cage, and that is annoying to watch from a fan standpoint. It's an unsportsmanlike strategy. It's the unsportsmanlike use of tactics uh, to win fights based off of a rule set more so than your actual prowess as a fighter. That was not a championship performance from Ankalaev. That was honestly like the reason we don't like Holly Holm. A lot of fans don't really like Holly Holm, even though she's the one who dethroned Ronda Rousey, right? Because eventually, especially later on in her career, she started just eking out victories by doing things like holding people up against the cage and other annoying things like that, right? Like gaming the system, gamifying what is supposed to be a fist fight. And that type of shit is really annoying to see. It's really annoying to have to watch and stuff like that. I didn't want to have to stay up till what was it like 2 a.m. or so just to watch that as a main event. So Alex Pereira didn't win that fight, but it's less that Ankalaev won and more that Alex just didn't win. He lost, you know. Um, so that is what it is. Now there's people out there who are saying like, oh Alex, he won rounds 1, 3, and 5. I mm. He definitely won round 1. I think you could give him round 3. Round 5, that's kind of a reach. That's kind of a hard one. That's kind of a hard one. It's like I said, that was not a fun performance from Ankalaev. It was not what everybody was hyping him up to be. He knew that if he didn't eke out a victory, he wasn't going to be able to win. He was either going to get knocked out or he was going to start to get outstruck, which is what happened in round 3. He had a really, really good round 2. And then the beginning of round 3, he started doing pretty damn well. And then out of nowhere, Alex turned on. He turned on. And that's why round 4 specifically was mostly spent up against the cage, is because up until halfway through round 3, Ankalaev felt in control. And as soon as that control got taken away from him, he was like, fuck, I got to regain this control. And the only way that I know how is to try and go for a takedown. And if I can't go for a takedown, if I can't get a takedown, that is, which great takedown defense from Pereira, by the way. If he can't get the takedown, his next thought was, I'll just hold him up against the cage and I'll do just enough to not get separated, right? I think what is really needed is a rule change. I think the referees need to be told, hey, don't just let dudes hang out on the cage. It's not just a Dagestani or an Ankalaev thing, right? It's an everybody thing. But like I said, there are people who their concern isn't fighting, their concern is winning a game. And that's what you're seeing last night. That's what you saw last night. The rules need to be changed so that people can't game that part of the system. I'm not saying that as soon as it touches the fence, you break the fighters and you return to the center, but it should be no more than like 45 seconds without some kind of major action before people get separated. You know, you could even do the same thing on the ground. There shouldn't be any more skating by off of throwing a couple of punches or a knee and then immediately going back to pressing someone against the cage or the mat. That should not be allowed, right? You should be always seeking to improve position, and you should always be seeking to be finishing the fight. A decision should not be something that people are shooting for. A decision should be something that people end up having to go to begrudgingly because they didn't knock the other guy out or finish him via submission, right? Um, I just think it's annoying that there's a lot of people out there who, like, for one thing, they think Pereira was robbed. It's like, truth be told, no, he wasn't robbed. He wasn't robbed, you know? Pereira was off. He didn't have a performance that was conducive to keeping the belt, is just the fact of the matter. But what's especially bad about it is that it's not like Ankalaev capitalized and was really, really that good. He was not that good last night. He didn't look like a champion last night. You expect champions to fight a certain way, and when they don't, it gets real, real annoying, real, real frustrating. This is why I wasn't a fan of Kamaru Usman, because he was someone who there was no risk, there was no excitement. It was very by the books, by the numbers, wins in ways that were just not fun to watch. And then on top of that, he had like an annoying personality too. That was bad. That was real annoying. MMA is being ruined, you know, and a lot of people will call you a casual. I don't know how you can call someone who does mixed martial arts, who is a mixed martial arts coach, a casual on the matter, especially when the people who are calling people casuals are usually dudes that don't actually do MMA themselves. But whatever, it's cool. I'll let you have that. You can call me a casual, but the only reason you're calling me a casual is because I expect there to be some semblance of sportsmanlike conduct. And I don't mean like the football version of unsportsmanlike conduct, where like somebody pushes somebody after the whistle, or like you're a little bit too rude to a referee and he takes it personally and he throws a yellow flag. I mean, there needs to be less nerd shit, less, oh, well, if you take all of round 4 and just completely negate anything that he could potentially do to you by holding him up against the cage for about 5 minutes, then you can win this. There needs to be rule changes as well as a cultural change within MMA to try to disincentivize nerd bullshit is what needs to happen, you know? You can call me a casual all you want. I'm not a casual. I just expect MMA to be what it was supposed to be for the majority of its existence. Two guys going in there showing bravery, heart, skill. Because you can sit here and be like, oh, but people are more skilled nowadays. I don't think they're actually that much more skilled. It's like I said, I think they've just gamified things. I think they're a little bit more refined towards what mixed martial arts is now. And because of that, they appear to be a little bit better when really they're not, right? But we want to see gladiators going in there. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. We want to see that kind of thing. We want to see displays of grit and, like I said, bravery. We want to see the ideal. We want to see the ideal man. And we're not seeing the ideal man in a lot of these modern MMA fighters. We're seeing dudes who they're nerds, and if they're not nerds, then they have a coach who is in their corner that is a nerd, who's more concerned about, no, keep him against the cage, keep him against the cage. No, just great. You got him against the cage? Good. Don't let him go. Right? That's what they're doing. It's terrible for the sport. It makes the sport boring. And I'm tired of like losers, most of which have not done mixed martial arts for as long as I have. You know, like I'm tired of losers trying to be like, you're a fucking casual. It's like, all right, yeah, sure, I'm a casual. Give me exciting fights. I'll be a casual who watches exciting fights any day of the week over some hardcore loser nerd who pretends like he enjoys what he's watching, but really he fucking hates it. And he doesn't want to sound like a casual, so he's like, oh, actually, Habib was a very exciting fighter. Habib was a very exciting fighter. If you don't like grappling, watch boxing. If you like grappling so much, watch wrestling. I'm not here to watch wrestling. I'm here to watch mixed martial arts. You're here to watch wrestling. And when I get mad that all we're seeing is wrestling and bullshit, you tell me go watch boxing. Haha. It's like shut up. Shut the fuck up, you know? You know, I see people on both sides of the argument on Twitter, and like a lot of people are kind of full of shit. I've seen very few people that I feel are like actually like not just either Pereira or Ankalaev fanboys, right? Because obviously the Pereira fanboys are going to say he won that, and then the Ankalaev fanboys are going to be like that was the greatest performance I've ever seen. They're both sides are going to be like that to some degree. And it's annoying to see, you know, but like there is a middle ground of yes, Ankalaev definitely won that, but it was a dog shit performance, and it was less that he was the better man and more that Pereira was just not himself for whatever reason that might be. I saw somebody say he might have had neurovirus and a broken hand. I don't know if that's the truth, right? Or if I don't know, the man is 37 years old and maybe he just doesn't have it in the way that he used to. There's a possibility. Or maybe the weight cut. Regardless of what it was very clear Pereira was not himself. And because of that, Ankalaev got the better of him. But that doesn't mean Ankalaev was like that much better. You know? It's also funny because like this woman who I guess was like engaged to him is trying to make herself relevant, you know. She's talking about, no more shama, it's karma, ha 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 ha. And it's so funny when the wives and girlfriends try and act like there's something when they're not, you know.